with the communist national anthem, if you will, which is John Lennon's
international anthem.
Yeah, John Lennon's Imagine. And no, it's hard to be in control of yourself and to do the right thing and make decisions, make the right decisions, to be a business leader, to be a leader in general. It's hard to do those things because if it was easy, everybody'd do it. Okay? Well, it's easy to not do that for some people and lay around and don't work, don't nothing. Just, I feel like, my wife ain't, I'm done with that. I'm going to go find something else. Or, my kids aren't working out. Forget them. It's easy to quit. It's hard to stay in the game. But when you stay in the game, the reward is so much better. So, I mean, look at the two candidates. Who stayed in the game and did it right and has self-control?
And who abandoned people in Benghazi?
And has absolutely no morals, no scruples, no self-control. So it's a fact. We are talking about globalism versus nationalism. Hillary Clinton is a globalist, George Soros type, one world order. Donald Trump is nationalist. Let's go back, and we're going to make America greater than it's ever been before. I mean, there's just no other way. And I guess maybe I'm trying to make the point for the never Trumpers that just keep getting stuck in my head. I really don't see.
I got you in on that because I thought it was over. I thought the never Trump movement was just a Hillary thing. And then I get in this conversation with a friend of my wife who is, far right. We agree on 99.999% of everything.
Who was she down for in the primaries?
Well, it's Cruz, 100%.
Okay.
But she can't, she's unable to move on from that because she believes in the falsehoods that were propagated, that have been and continue to be propagated by Glenn Beck.
He came out this week and still Glenn Beck is still not
100% against Trump.
Right.
He is a never Trump guy. 100% never Trump.
Forever.
And his excuses continue to be not true. They're just not true.
Right. You said you were listening to the show this week, and him and Jeffy started going off on a tangent about Trump that was just a complete lie. I don't remember the article.
Well, it happens so often. I don't know if I'd remember the details, but if you could find it, I could definitely discuss it. I mean, literally, the reason I can't remember it off the top of my head right now is because it seems like maybe every other day I'll text Brian and say, Stu said blank, 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 which is obviously just totally made up in his head. Right. He has it in his head that Trump is going to do certain things that are so bad that we shouldn't elect him as president.
Right.
But there's nothing that would lead you to believe, no data, no past actions, or anything that you could say, oh, absolutely, you're right, Stu. What you're saying is probably fact. And so yeah, I'm with you. Let's not vote for him. Let's vote for somebody else or let Hillary win. We'll be better off if we let Hillary win. No, it's over. And I tried to explain this to this lady this weekend. I don't want to say her name. There's still hope if we can just save the Supreme Court.
But for what? What hope for what?
To save the Supreme Court.
Oh, you're saying there's still hope.
There's still hope to save America.
Right. She's saying there's still hope for another candidate. Right?
Her and especially Glenn Beck would say, we'll survive. We survived Obama. What did we say before Obama took over? We said, this is Glenn Beck and Stu talking. Oh. What did we say before Obama? If Obama gets elected, we're going to lose the country. He got elected.
We're losing the country.
He said 8 years later, we survived. We can survive Obama. We can survive Clinton, too.
Barely.
That's the argument. No, we won't because of SCOTUS.
We barely survived Obama. That's what I'm saying, barely.
I'm going to go further. My argument is you think we survived when we really didn't.
Yeah.
50 years from now, they'll look back and say that it was
this was the turning point.
It was electing Obama and him implementing what they implemented and his other actions that caused the end of the United States. You could say right now We're 7 years into his presidency. Looks like we survived. Did we?
Well,
Did we
and
really?
I'm saying maybe not, because, I mean, he's bringing 2 million immigrants from the Middle East to America. There's hundreds of thousands more. I mean, the immigrants are coming from the border. The borders are
he's
open.
trying to hurry it up now because
Yes.
he knows that when you bring in the refugees, there's only one way to get rid of refugees. Well, there's two ways. Number one, if they break any laws, you can just put them in jail and they're out of society, but they're still in America. The other way is the way we got rid of the Native Americans, which was Trail of Tears.
Right. And
there is
probably no
legal
other way to
way.
happen. Right.
There's no legal way to get rid of refugees.
So he knows by bringing them here, it'll flood our country and turn it into Europe.
It'll make it easier for Islam to defeat America when it comes time to.
Oh, speaking about Islam. Oh, my Lord, man. Well, before I get to that, hold on. Okay, that's too much. But we got a huge thing on Islam breaking news.
We have an hour to talk about it.
Okay, before we get there, let me wrap up. Politico had a cover story this week that profiles coal workers in Pennsylvania. And this all comes on the heels of an article that says Trump has more support now than he ever had before, which is in stark contrast to what the media is trying to say.
The media is absolutely like it's over for Trump.
Right. So this is in Cambria County, Pennsylvania, and this is by Politico. It says Donald Trump's road to the White House begins here on a 4-lane highway just east of Pittsburgh, past the roadside taverns, burned out gas stations, and parking lots choked with weeds, up into the dark fingers of the Allegheny Mountains, and then down into the valley that was once home to steel workers, coal miners, and party line Democrats.
Interesting.
He goes on to where he actually interviewed one of the an old farm worker, his dad's dad, everybody in his family. They've all been Democrat, towing the line. The guy did make a comment. His name's Carl Helm. He made a comment. He said, "Hey, I'm a little worried about Trump. I mean, we really don't know his background." I'm like, you don't know his background. Just Google it.
I know you're just
Google it, bro.
Are you just saying that stuff? Are words just coming out of your mouth randomly?
But he said he's a bit out. He said Trump's a bit outspoken, and that's what he likes about him. And he's outspoken about jobs, and that's what we need, which is why in the big election I'm going to vote Trump. And he has voted Democrat his entire life. His dad has, and his dad's dad.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Dennis Rodman, who I thought he was a full-blown communist.
Well, I thought he was a
Well, that too.
flaming
He's
Hollywood
a full-blown flaming communist. You look at that, and here he comes out and says that we need Trump, and I'm going to vote for Trump, and everybody else should vote for Trump. Somebody like him comes out and says that. A guy who just recently was giving high fives to Kim Jong-un. It's like,
right?
Yeah. So I can't put it past anybody. I can't put it past any single individual coming out and saying, "I'll tell you what, man, I really like what Trump's saying. I'm gonna vote for him. He's got my vote." I can't put it past anybody.
Right. No, I'm good with. Oh, the GOP came out this week, and Mark Levin. Sorry, not GOP. Mark Levin, GOP. Well, Mark Levin was on the Never Trump train.
Yes, he was, and it was very annoying listening to it.
This week, though, he came out and he said Trump had an awesome speech. But I'll tell you something, Mr. Producer.
Now you got to do it like this. I was listening to Donald Trump this weekend, and I'm going to tell you something, Mr. Producer. The last time I talked to him, I was really upset. And let me tell you something else, Mr. Producer. We need to stop helping Hillary Clinton by not supporting Donald Trump.
All right, perfect. Yeah, he did have a problem, though, with Trump's speech earlier this week, and said that he really thought it was a bad move for him to call out Bernie Sanders supporters and say, hey, come on, get on the train.
I mean, I don't fault him for trying.
Why would Levin be mad at Trump trying to get Sanders
because
supporters?
The far right wing, people like me, I'm far right. I mean, you can't get much more far right wing than me.
What?
I'm
You're
just
part
not,
of the white sheet? What?
The what?
Isn't that what they say right wingers are? They're KKK members?
Well, I'm not KKK, and I.
By the way, that was Democrat. Far right wingers, just Christians who love America.
There you go. So, but I don't let my religion get in the way of my philosophy, and sometimes it gets all mixed up, and that's where I think a lot of people. God's watching me when I put the check mark down, that kind of stuff. It's like,
yeah, but I think God's down with Trump.
I mean,
apparently God was down with Brexit.
I mean, how Christian are you? There are denominations of Christians who are 100% against Mormons. Did you vote for Romney?
No. Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about religion that not too long ago was all about polygamy and all that kind of stuff. Were you worried about God looking down on you when you put the check mark down for...
I pulled the lever for Romney.
Well, yeah. And I should have asked her that. I should have said, well, you're Catholic, right?
Yeah.
Weren't you a little bit worried about pulling the lever for Romney?
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I had Joe.
So you're the reason why Obama got elected again.
Yes.
Seriously.
Yes.
Seriously.
So, in his speech this week was pretty fiery, pretty out there, and he really laid out his whole ideology, his game plan, and laid to waste, if you will, Hillary Clinton to the point of no return. This woman cannot possibly hold a candle to Trump. And on Sean Hannity's show, Hannity asked Judge Jeanine, he had her as a guest, asked her what she thought about Trump's speech, about his speech and how he presented it. And folks, this is Donald Trump, and this is where he's going, and this is how he's progressed this far, yet he's not losing sight of what got him here. So here's the judge.
It's crucial, Sean, now that he's in a general election mode. Look, Donald was Donald, and he got in the primary. He is the presumed nominee. But right now, people, especially those in the middle, want to know that this is a man who is different from the way Hillary is identifying him. And so what you see now is a more sophisticated campaign. You see a calmer Donald Trump. I've known him. You know that. He's a hoot. But at this point,
I love the pitch, the tone, the tenor, the cadence of that speech.
Everything about that was presidential.
Everything about it was presidential. It's just
that's fine. I mean, I guess as long as you're not cussing and you sound smart and coherent and all that. I mean, what exactly is presidential?
Well, I mean, he's laying out fact. He's laying out his maybe not so much details of a policy, but you can see where he's going, what he wants to do, and how he wants to do it, and everything that he talks about doing that's either been done in the past or we're watching unfold now in Europe is right.
I like that he's right more than anything. Yes. And some of the things that he's right about are the kind of opinions that people would mostly be scared to say because it's you could be wrong and you could be made to look dumb when you make a prediction that's kind of controversial or difficult to predict. And he's just dead on about everything. Right. So I would like that to be a measure of being presidential, is just being smart and being able to demonstrate intelligence like that.
Well, and then the whole leadership factor.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding me?
Huge. We don't have leaders like that.
Not in politics.
No, you just don't see it.
And on the flip side of that, if you're going to sit there and say that because Romney and Rubio and let's say maybe even Paul Ryan, they look good in a suit and they can look like a good robot in front of a camera, and speak